how would my life look like 1 year from now if I actually started acting like my true self right now? If I started doing what I want to do, if I started wearing what I want to wear, if I started putting on the makeup that I want to wear, if I started showing up on social media the way I am, if I actually didn't even dry my hair and just, straight out of the shower filmed the video and not judged myself for how I look like, because goodness me, I do look fucking good. Like, I don't even have makeup on. I feel very comfortable. Welcome, my magical humans. What's that, you ask? This is a well-used copy of the Plot Your Life journal, which I recently published. Republished technically, because the first time I had published this is like a year ago, roughly. This one is big. It's big, it's beautiful. It's a hardcover. Oh, this is nice ASMR. I might have to film an ASMR video with this on my ASMR channel, which is also linked in my video channel, YouTube channel account thing. But I wrote down something that you will want to know. So if you're still watching this video, keep watching. I can't show you any of the notes that are in here because they're private as hell. I do a lot of EFT tapping these days, but what I can show you is this page. This is literally how I script every single one of my big videos. This is gonna be one of them. So let's get started. I'm gonna get ready in the meantime, because why not? And I figured that I can literally just do my skincare while I talk about this, because I have internalized all of it. And yes, I do it the scary way because I don't have a headband right now for, like, keeping my hair out of my face. So we'll just live with stuff like that happening. But hey, that's reality too, right? For some of us. All right, so we're going to talk about how to embody your favorite self today, which is basically your most authentic self, which is your highest self, which is whatever word all of these coaches find for these days. I would say I'm one of them myself, because I keep rebranding all these words as well, like depending on what I feel is more fitting for my clients and for me, and like for where I am in life in the moment when I film these videos and when I publish the guides. And obviously things change, so like even your favorite version of yourself is gonna be slightly different depending on what state of life you're in, like what's happening in the meantime, what you're up to, basically, So, but basically, I'm speaking of you have an upbringing, an upcoming, whatever. You have like a past of, make it abuse or gaslighting or manipulation, or you just had very bad people around you, or you had people who weren't supportive of you being you, things like that. This video is for you, okay? I'll explain it in a second. Actually, I'll explain it now. So, you have, and yes, I'm gonna touch the book with my cream hands now. Don't judge me, okay? Well, feel free to judge me. It's just gonna be another comment under my videos, so I'll take that. You have a survival identity, which is basically the identity that keeps you safe, okay? And I say safe in that way because it doesn't really keep you safe, but we'll get to that in actually a moment. And then you have your alive identity, which is what I call alive identity. I don't know the proper word for it, if there's a proper word, but this is the real you, basically, okay? So your survival identity made you survive whatever trauma, whatever past you've been through, okay? So in most cases, from what I heard from my clients, what I've experienced myself, people I've been with, etc., is that this survival identity mainly keeps you small, quiet, and protected. So everything that was not allowed for you as a child or a younger teenager, or like before you became independent of these people, this is what your nervous system, which is basically the part of your body, mind, soul construct in this world, in this life, has It's basically what keeps you safe and protected. Your nervous system is, it can be either regulated or dysregulated, and it is what indicates whether you're in a good situation or not in life right now, whether you feel safe or not, and how you deal with that stress, you know? So a regulated nervous system, for example, looks like you take deep breaths, and no matter what stressor from the outside comes in, you just handle it. Like you just do it, and you're like kind of shrugging it off, and you're like experiencing it as a normal life occurrence, but you don't get caught up in all these things, you know? You would just continue living your own life and being like, okay, well, that was one shit moment, but it's gonna get better afterwards, right? Survival identity type of trauma shit in your nervous system gets mirrored in stuff like CPTSD, for example, which is what I dealt for a very long time, and which I'm still dealing with, honestly. So I'm still working through that and still learning like new things of the nervous system and how to ground it, how to calm it, all of these things. But it is basically this whole thing of being hyper vigilant, always expecting something bad to happen, or being like, okay, well, for example, if you form an online presence anywhere on social media and you show up for yourself, or you even just start showing your own style and like dressing in a way that you want to dress in or whatever, and you just expect bad things to happen because of your past upbringing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna unravel, first of all, what it was that you learned kept you safe for the longest time. And we're gonna do this by learning to differentiate what is what, because there are two versions of you. And I learned this pretty early on. I think the first time I realized that I feel like I'm kind of split in half when it comes to my identity was when I was 16, and I was like, I like vastly different things. And then I realized that first of all, I don't have to choose. I can like both of these things. That doesn't make me less of a human just because like I don't fit a niche, or because I don't fit an aesthetic or whatever, or my style changes from day to day because I was 16 back then and like I was figuring things out. It doesn't make me less of a human because I'm figuring things out, you know? And same for you. But my survival identity learned that I'm not allowed to be seen failing or trying, because that could lead to success, you know? But that's something you have to figure out for yourself. It's like, if nobody taught you that failure is part of becoming successful, because most people who are successful, I would even say all of the people who are truly successful in life in whatever way, shape, or form you decide what success is, it doesn't only have to be in the monetary sense or in the like successful sense that we see business owners being successful as, or like whatever, you know. It can also be in the way that you're in a loving relationship, or you have children you really love, or you have a friend circle that's really supportive for you, or like whatever. All of these things are successful, you know, all of these things are successes. And what was I talking about? I just got a message, so I kind of lost my track. But you basically have to see that you don't have to fit a niche, you don't have to fit one aesthetic, you can like a lot of things and like puzzle piece it all together, because that's what I did. So I like a lot of aspects of the goth aesthetic, and I like a lot of the aspects of like luxury, quiet luxury, loud luxury aesthetic. I like the old money aesthetic. I like, what else? I like the artsy aesthetic. I like so many things. And at one point in my life, I just realized that I'm all that. I like all of that. And it doesn't make me less of a human. It actually just makes me more, because I like more. Right. We're going to start by differentiating these two identities, though, because there's the survival identity that just wants to keep you safe, and there's the alive identity, which is your favorite safe, your favorite self, and it's the version that actually keeps you safe, which is kind of confusing in the first place to hear that, because your survival identity was based on what other people told you, would keep you safe from them. And the alive identity is basically what really keeps you safe and lets you thrive in life, what lets you live your life, what allows you to actually step into that role of being able to hold this life that you're building for yourself. So it's kind of different to what I wrote down here. I'm kind of improvising right now. It just flows through me whenever I start videos like this. So bear with me for a second. But basically, you can look at where your survival identity, once you identified that. Okay, let's start with that. You identify your survival identity basically by asking yourself 2 questions frequently, as often as possible. I did that for an entire year. I recently wrote a post about this on YouTube as well, which is, who told me that and with which intention? And then, why do I want to do X, Y, Z right now? So the first question is basically mainly for identifying all habits in general. Like, why am I stopping myself from doing X, Y, Z right now? Why, like, who told me that I can't dress in this way? And what was their intention to do, you know? By asking yourself who told you that, it's also important to note whether, or to notice whether these people have good intentions with you or not, whether you like these people or not, whether they are somewhere in life where you want to go, so you look up to them and therefore take their advice or not. And then the question, why do I want to do X, Y, Z right now? It's basically to unravel unhealthy coping mechanisms or habits or whatever, like smoking, drinking, whatever. It's okay to enjoy these things for the sake of enjoying them. It's not okay to use them as cope, to like not feel things, to numb yourself, to distract yourself, whatever, because that's just distraction that makes everything worse, okay? Once you have identified, and I just want to mention at this point, it is a lifelong path, I want to say. I've been on this path since I was 15. That was when I actively started to like see more and more what works, what doesn't work in my life, and I started seeing the people for who they really are, and then went on that path of like quitting contact with a lot of people based on their ill intentions with me. So let's take a deep breath together. I feel like I need it right now, because it's still like, even though I'm over it as much as I can be over it right now, it's still a hard topic to talk about. It's still a hard conversation to have, you know? So let's take a deep breath. And that's also, by the way, part of the nervous system work that I do. It's like one of the most easy things, I think, to create a habit of every single time that I feel rushed, or I feel like I'm getting flashbacks, or like just remembering things, you know, talking about things like I talk about right now, to help you become a better version of yourself that you like better. And I feel like I feel slightly uncomfortable that I just take a deep breath, because that's like, it just reminds me that I am in my body, you know, like I'm here, I'm not back then, like I did survive that. And you can do that too. You can start implementing that right now. Right. And that's what I wanted to say earlier. That was the idea that I got. You can, once you differentiated these 2 versions of yourself, like what you really want to do, who you really are, and then who you had to be in order to survive, once you differentiated these 2, you can imagine, like literally close your eyes and just imagine where your survival identity, who you had to be to survive, how your life would look like in a year from now if you kept living that way, based on the rules and standards that you've been taught back then. And then 5 years from now, 10 years from now, etc., etc. And then switch up that mind movie and go into your alive identity and ask yourself, how would my life look like 1 year from now if I actually started acting like my true self right now? If I started doing what I want to do, if I started wearing what I want to wear, if I started putting on the makeup that I want to wear, if I started showing up on social media the way I am, if I actually didn't even dry my hair and just, you know, straight out of the shower filmed the video and not judged myself for how I look like, because goodness me, I do look fucking good. Like, I don't even have makeup on. I feel very comfortable, which is new for me because I feel comfortable. It depends on the day, but I sometimes even feel more comfortable without makeup because there's like less stimulation on my face than from the makeup. But usually I would have never filmed a video like this, just, like this, even just a year ago. And that's where I realized that my whimsy is back because I can do that now. So, all right, you're gonna find your real you now. Okay, so the second step is make a list of what you want to be and to do in your life. Learn about yourself as if you're dating yourself. And this is the point where this video is it's just not cutting it completely. This is like an entryway into the whole identity shifting work, identity based work, of embodying your favorite self, of creating your dream life, because that's all you. That's the thing, it's all you. But I want you and I need you all to know that one simple video, even if you watch all of the videos that I posted, it's just not gonna cut it. Because first of all, you gotta do the work, then that's always outside of the videos, that's on you. That's on you. I can't do that for you. And second of all, it's just not gonna cut it because this is such a small portion of all the things I've done in the past. How old am I now? Like 6-7 years. I don't want to see any 6-7 memes in the comments right now. I'm gonna call them out. But yeah, so it's been like 6 or 7 years that I have studied, implemented, worked through all of this identity work to become the version of myself I am today, and I'm still a work in progress. And I don't say that by any means in a negative way. Like, so many people just see the end goal of like, oh, I'm gonna be the perfect version of myself, and I'm gonna be like the most influential influencer this world has ever seen, and the most successful person this world has ever seen, etc. And I'm like, well, but that's so rooted in your wounded ego that you have to be perfect to be loved. That's so unhealthy. So when I say I'm still a work in progress, that simply means that I acknowledge the flaws I still have, that I still work on, the moments that I still have where I fall back into old patterns and I have to like catch myself and be like, okay, well, we're gonna take some deep breaths and maybe eat some chocolate pudding now or something, like anything that makes me happy, just so I feel better about myself, and then I can pick myself up and be like, okay, come on, we're gonna do this now, and then getting back into my favorite self's habits and getting back to myself. Like, it's a work in progress, and that doesn't make me any less. That just makes me human, and I acknowledge that I've learned over the past, that's now roughly about 5 years, that I have learned that perfectionism is just, I don't know, I'm just incapable of perfectionism as a human. I'm incapable of being perfect in a way that the advertisement on TV shows tell me, that all the online coaches tell me. Life just isn't perfect in the flawless way that AI makes pictures and videos and text and everything seem. Life just isn't like that. That's just unrealistic. And everyone who tells you different is just either extremely privileged to be so excluded from all the troubles that normal human beings experience. Normal human beings experience in this world, or they just have lost all senses of reality. And honestly, that is quite what's the word? It's quite sad, honestly, to hear that from people, to be like so far away, drifting away from reality. So yeah, that's just me. But I can also see how far I've come, like how extremely far I've come, even in the past year, in the past 2 years, in the past 5 years, in the past 10 years. Like, holy shit, I'm not the same version of myself anymore that I was 10 years ago. Like, obviously, I've gotten older, but I haven't only gotten older, I've grown wiser, I've grown more embodied, I've grown stronger and softer and more healthy, and I take more care of myself than I have ever done before. And this to me is proof enough that I can do what I do. So what this entire ramble was about, this video is this small fraction of what I wrote, for example, in the Portal to Your Dream Life guide. You can buy that right now. You can get it for, I think it's £44 right now on Amazon, for example, in any bookshop, any bookstore. Or if you don't have that much money right now, which is completely valid in this economy, you can get it for £22 only on my Gumroad. It's an instant download, high quality PDF. You can read everything immediately. And it just looks really pretty. Wait a second, I even have it here. Boop. This is the guide. This is how it looks like. This one has 65 pages full of value. Wait, I can actually show you this one because I think it fits right now. This, for example, is an exercise I discovered 5 years ago. And it is the 8 areas of your life. Some people do more or less or whatever. And it's basically for you checking in how you're doing, how you feel you're doing in your life. This is really good, really good inner embodiment work after you're watching this video and implementing what I just told you. I have also published a lot of other guides, like how to write a book. I do energy alignment sessions, which is the big thing. I do them for £111, and it's like roughly about $130 to $150 depending on the rate per day. But we go so in depth into your survival identity and then your alive identity, and really you can feel the shift within the 90 minutes of this session. So I really appreciate you all booking this, and I just love to meet you there and guide you to your favorite self. Anyway, let's go back to this video because I still haven't finished it and we're at 22 minutes and I'm really in rambling mode. But I just enjoy this so much. I'm like, because right now I am in the phase where I just have to step out of my comfort zone and be like, okay, I don't have to look perfect either. That's where I'm at right now. And I love to share this with you. So step number 2, after you know what you all want to do in your life and who you want to be, that was step 2. You go to step number 3 and you catch yourself in moments of automatism. I don't think that's a word. So whenever something works automatically for you, you don't even think about doing that. You basically catch yourself. You interrupt the pattern and make a conscious decision to be your favorite self, because you don't become, you just remember, okay? Because we all came to this earth knowing who we are, even as a baby. That's honestly a personal opinion and a personal belief system that, or a belief sentence that y'all can discuss in the comments. That's my philosophy. That's my life philosophy, because I do love philosophy. And I believe we all come to this earth and we know who we are, and we're all on this path of remembering who we are, what we came here onto this earth to do. And some of us are blessed and privileged to have been born in safe environments, so we could do that earlier. And some of us have not been blessed to be born in a safe environment, and then we had to make our way out of that and do the identity shift within that. And in the end, we all just, if we put in the work, we all just remember who we are and then live a life according to that. But I do believe that everyone has a purpose here, and everyone has an entire personality based on this purpose. So, all right. Basically, catching yourself in moments where you would usually do something because you just learned that that's your coping mechanism, or that's XYZ, it's just a habit, you just catch yourself. And that's a long process. It took me I think it's still a work in progress. Oh my god, I have so many spelling errors in this video. We'll just keep them in. That just proves I'm a human. All right, no AI used here. This all comes out of my mind, okay? This entire page, I wrote that down with my own hands, okay? into a book that I designed myself. So, right. Um, Interrupting patterns is probably the biggest life skill you'll ever learn, because once you realize that, for example, like if something pisses you off, okay, and you realize that you're getting angry, instead of lashing out at the person that you really love, if it was a mistake or something, you catch yourself, you take a deep breath and a step back, and you're like, okay, wait, I love that person. They maybe fucked up something. Maybe it was an accident, okay? And then you can communicate that. You can talk to them in a calm way. You can even talk to them in an angry way, but you can still tell them that you love them, even though they made a mistake. Stuff like that. Um, and, or for example, like what I learned that with, I used to deal a lot with like eating disorders and restrictive eating, all of that stuff. So when I went to grocery stores later on, when I actively fought that ED, I had to catch myself so many times where I would just go straight up to all the products that I usually bought. Um, and I would have to be like, okay, well, but there's also other things in this grocery store that I maybe would like to eat. So then I just had to open my mind more and more, like every time I went grocery shopping, to just see new things in the first place. Because that's the thing, that's also what manifestation is basically. It is opening your mind to see the things, opportunities, possibilities, options that are already there. And that's also what we do in the energy alignment session, because I'm a clairvoyant, I'm a psychic. I just started calling myself a psychic again because I read the definition of it recently again, and I was like, wait a second, that's actually what I am. That's actually what I do. Those are the gifts that I have been blessed with. That is part of my purpose, if not my purpose in general. And it's like you go into a supermarket, and based on what your family taught you, what's there, what they buy, you go straight for the things that they would have bought, because it's just your programming. And that's the same thing with your belief systems. Because you grow up in a certain familiar environment, you only manifest, see, and take opportunities that they have taught you are available to you, because those were the ones that were available for them based on their family environment. So manifestation is basically that you open up your mind to see everything that is already there, just like walking into a supermarket and seeing all the other options that you suddenly have once you live on your own, and once you have the money to buy everything that you could possibly want, you can choose for yourself, Like, for example, the first thing that I did when I had my own money and when I moved out was get a new bank account, because I didn't want to stay with the bank that I grew up with, because I didn't like their service. So I just switched it, and I'm really happy where I am now. So that is that. That is the video. Make something out of it. Okay, this had an immense amount of value. If you really understand and embody this work, yet alone this work, this is gonna get you very far in life already, okay? So I love to hear everything that you manifest based on this in the comment sections. I love hearing success stories. Like, it's awesome. It's awesome. Okay, I'll see you all in the next video. And yeah, I wish you a wonderful time. Until then, bye.